25 years ago, in an historic court decision, blacks in Little Rock, Arkansas won the right to send their kids to school with whites. But aside from the fact that Central High, the hub of Little Rock's integration battle, is today 50-50 black and white, Little Rock's once white elementary schools are by and large black, at least 2/3 black, while the city is 2/3 white. What to do about it? The solution now being tried in Little Rock could set a pattern for schools all over the country. Little Rock's Brady Elementary School sits in the middle of a white neighborhood. So where are all the white kids? They left for private schools when the city began busing black kids in from other neighborhoods. Massive busing of blacks into white neighborhoods and whites into black neighborhoods began 10 years ago after a court ordered Little Rock to integrate every one of its schools. But it didn't work. Whites began to pull their kids out of the public schools and send them to the private schools that sprouted in their neighborhoods. That's the situation that faced Ed Kelly when he became superintendent of schools this year.
You said that the future of the Little Rock public school system is at stake. Why?
If the white flight continues, we don't have an integrated system. We will have lost the necessary financial support that we need to carry on a quality program. We're also going to lose the white vote on tax referendums. We're going to lose the white property tax by having them move outside our boundary lines, and that in the long run is going to affect us and what we can offer.
So what to do? Little Rock decided the only thing to do was to lure the white kids back into the school system. And the only way to do that was to reinstate segregation, to keep black students in their neighborhood schools in the hopes that whites would return to theirs. The experiment is not citywide. In most places, busing, at least for the moment, goes on as before.
How much busing has been eliminated by the reorganization?
Well, about, that would be excess of 400 routes we've been able to reduce. So we've...
Out of,
I would say that's about a third, about 1,200 and some. So we've come close to eliminating about a third of our routes.
Under the new plan, no white kids are being bused to Mitchell Elementary School. No white kids are being bused to Ish Elementary School, nor to Carver. And at Reitzel, there are just a half dozen white kids who happen to live in the neighborhood. Otherwise, the 4 schools in Little Rock's poorest and blackest neighborhoods have gone back to being all black. It's still too soon to tell, but the plan shows promise. Even parents of children in the all-black neighborhood schools are giving the plan good grades.
how does that work? You like it?
It's more convenient.
But you've got here, what, a practically all-black school.
Really, yeah.
People in Little Rock worked pretty hard to end that for a while. Now you're going back to it. Does that bother you at all?
It's all right. As long as my kids get an equal education as the white kids, they can go to all black schools.
Are they getting an equal education, you think?
So far, as I know, they are.
A federal court has let Little Rock go ahead with the plan under conditions that require enriched educational programs at the 4 all-black schools. But John Walker, a Little Rock attorney, sees an inherent evil in the plan.
That it stigmatizes black youngsters. It labels them as basically being inferior to white youngsters.
Walker and the NAACP Legal Defense Fund are continuing their court struggle against the plan, even though there is not much community opposition to it.
You have to understand that even back in 1954, if a vote had been taken among the black community as to whether they would prefer segregation or desegregation, a large number of black parents would have preferred segregation. A large number of black people now prefer segregation. Segregation perhaps is easy for a number of us.
One of the things that I think that is an affliction upon the public schools is that the public schools are being asked to cure some larger social ills.
Thedford Collins is a concerned parent.
We've said, okay, you're the public schools, you're going to have to be sure that all folks of all races get together at some point. That's not fair to the public schools.
We can't change people's attitude toward race, obviously. That's something we can't do. But we can work with better organization, better instruction, better programming, and be able to show that the public school systems do work.
It's clear that education will have priority over integration. And the hope is that eventually neighborhoods will change and integration will take care of itself.
Sooner or later, would you like to see the neighborhoods change so that it would be a mixture?
Really, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But where you live is all black, right?
All black. Mm-hmm.
And will be for a while.
Will be.
I mean, that's money.
Yeah.
In the meantime, as a pilot project, a new kind of integration, voluntary integration, is being tried at one elementary school. Because Little Rock hopes that kind of school will attract children from all over the city, including some who are now in private schools, they call it a magnet school. Williams Magnet School has just opened.
Thank you.
In effect, it's a private school within the public school system. Parents must sign a contract pledging that they will support the school's strict discipline policy, require their children to complete homework assignments, and ensure compliance with a dress code. The dress code is mainly no blue jeans, shorts, or t-shirts. But most significantly, there's a guarantee that at least half the student body will be white. There were 1,000 applicants, half of them black and half of them white, for the 500 places in Williams School. A lottery was held to determine who got in. Joyce Springer is the principal of the Williams Magnet School.
In terms of the white students who applied from private schools, is there some kind of magic in the 50% figure? I know Central High works very well with about a 50% split. You're committed to a 50% split. Is that the right mix in a city like Little Rock?
I'm not sure it's the right mix for a city like Little Rock or any other city. I do know that when whites are in the minority, they start to feel uncomfortable. And so if there is less than 50% of the population that is white, then the troubles seem to mount.
Response to Williams has been so good that Little Rock may see more magnet schools, something that the court also recommends. There were 90 applications to Williams from children who were in private schools. 39 of those children were accepted, including Steve McClellan's 2 kids. He told us why he had once before given up on the public schools.
My daughter, when last year she was in public school, was in with one other white girl. Of course, that's unfair. That's not what integration was, what it was set up to be. That's just the reverse. That's going back to segregation. This magnet school here is a 50-50 thereabout ratio. It is what integration should be.
You like it so far?
Yes, sir.
Kids like it so far?
Yes, sir.
The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Good. Stop right there.
It may seem kind of silly, this business of parents signing a contract saying that their children will dress neatly, behave, and do a certain amount of homework. After all, a good many of us can remember when that was taken for granted. Nobody thought you had to put it in writing. And after all, some kids go to Harvard and MIT in jeans and t-shirts and do all right. But it's kind of nice to see colors other than blue denim. And you get the feeling that the kids themselves are thinking of themselves as something special, that they find more in common, almost as if they were sharing this place. And that's something a lot of people were convinced could never happen in Little Rock. Remember 25 years ago when this city stood as a symbol of defiance against letting 9 black kids into Central High? I do. I was there.
You think there'll be more trouble this year?
Yes, sir, I do.
Would you help make it if you had to?
Yes, sir, I would.
You don't want Negroes in school then?
No, sir.
Is that a pretty general attitude? How do you feel about Negroes in school?
Well, I don't think Negroes should go to school with the white people. They should stay in their own class.
Is their class different or worse than yours?
It's different. I don't think they belong with us.
25 years later, there are a lot of changes.
Would anybody in the room, black or white, prefer going to a segregated high school?
No.
I'm trying to figure out where integration stands. Would you date a black girl?
If I really liked her, I probably would. If I really loved her, I would. I'd date a white girl right now, but I guess that's just the normal values of society.
It's ironic that the school that once was a symbol of defiance toward desegregation has become the exception to the resegregation that has spread through Little Rock. Central has become what school officials want every school to be like. But there are special reasons for Central's success. The school draws kids equally from surrounding black and white neighborhoods, so the close to 50-50 racial balance is natural. Also, it is so much better academically than the private high schools that parents who want their kids to be better prepared for college take those kids out of private schools and send them to Central. And there's another reason. A lot of these kids grew up in the system before the white flight became so widespread.
I went to an integrated school from the beginning, and when you're young, you don't have all these bad ideas in your head. One of my best friends in 3rd grade was black, and I knew everything about her, and she knew everything about me. So when I got here, it wasn't a surprise. I was used to integration. That's why I think it works.
But the plain fact is it doesn't work, because too many whites have left the public schools in the last 10 years. So Little Rock has gone back to the drawing board. And if this new plan succeeds, this plan to bring whites back into the school system by resegregating until neighborhoods change, Little Rock could become a model for the rest of the nation. But it's a gamble, one that troubles black parents like Bob Nash.
If we in the black and white community accept this year 4 all-black schools, we might accept 4 more next year and another magnet school and 2 or 3 more until we get to a point where we have a significantly resegregated school district. And I just think that is unbearable, and Little Rock cannot afford to have a situation like that.
But Bob Nash would agree that if nothing were done, Little Rock would end up with an all-black school system anyway because of white flight. So, if the courts permit, Little Rock will see more neighborhood schools, which means more segregation. Does that mean the white racists who caused the furor here 25 years ago have won? Not really. Central High has proven that.